in a hurricane status. I've heard the winds are up as high as 75 miles per hour. So I think 74 is when we start naming it a category one. But here we are. I'm going to deal with it the best that I can. I'm going to prepare. I actually have some things around my house that I like to prepare because last time I got a little water in my house when there was a hurricane. So I use duct tape.
To
Kind of a crazy thing.
seal the cracks in the doorways?
Correct. Correct. A lot of people will put boards up on their doors and everything else, but I use duct tape. But here's the one thing. Duct
Doesn't
tape is
that leave like a sticky residue all around your doorways?
it does. It absolutely does if you leave it on, especially if you leave it on there for a while. But I have a little secret. You know that torch oil that you use to keep the bugs away, citronella? If you rub that on there and you wait a little bit, you rub it off, all that sticky stuff comes right off. Good use for
So
citronella oil.
so you're rubbing a flammable liquid all over the exterior of your home during a hurricane? No,
No,
after the
after the
hurricane.
hurricane. So if the hurricane didn't destroy my home, maybe I'll destroy it myself with the
Yeah.
flammable liquid. Only a little bit at a time, Dean. Only a little bit at a time. I don't want people to think that I'm dousing my house in flammable liquid. It's a solvent, so it does the job. But the one thing I want to caution against if you did use duct tape is that you can't duct tape all your escape routes. If you need to get out of your house, believe it or not, I had no idea. I thought I could just open the door. And one time I was in my home and I went to one of my doors that had duct tape on it. And I don't care how strong you are, opening your door with duct tape on the other side of it is almost impossible. So you have to think those things through. How am I going to get out if I duct tape up my door? So if you're listening to this advice, I wouldn't recommend doing it. It's what I do. But if you have any leaky areas, I had a friend of mine, Billy, who literally said he's in Hurricane Irma. He had to stand with a bucket next to his window, and that bucket was filling up every few minutes, and he had to dump it into the toilet, and he kept going, and he kept going, and he kept going, and back and forth, and he stayed up all night doing that. If he had just applied a little duct tape to that window prior to the storm coming, he could have saved himself. I mean, he would have probably still been up all night because it were 100-mile-an-hour winds, and it was probably scary as hell to try to fall asleep in that. But you know, little duct tape goes a long way.
What about like a painter's tape? Is that not strong enough to hold on through the hurricane or something?
I just don't think it's waterproof enough. I mean, we're getting hundreds, if not thousands of gallons hitting every single spot of our homes during a hurricane. It
Wow.
is what I would call it. It's almost like a pressure washer hitting your house too. So duct tape is the only thing that I found that really holds up to that.
Wow. That's crazy. Well, I wish you the best. I hope you don't get too hit too hard there, and I hope everything works out.
Yeah, well, you'll know. I mean, every day I learn a little bit more. We track the information and we learn a little bit more every day. But you'll know one way or another because my trip plans are going to adjust based on what happens with this storm. So either it's going to be smooth sailing or it's going to be my whole trip. I have to recalibrate everything because this storm screws up our plans. But hopefully, my thoughts and my hopes are that this storm is just going to pass on by and it's going to be nothing. It's just going to be a little rain for us.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for filling us in, and give us an update, and I guess we'll see what happens, and
Sounds
wish for the
great.
best for you.
All right.
All right. Talk to you later.
Hey, talk to you later, man.
Bye.